What's going on YouTube? It's your man BG Tech Life, and I'm bringing you my first impressions on the G5. Um, I already unboxed this phone, so it's not quite an unboxing. I just got the box in the video to show y'all what the box looked like, because it's, a pretty cool box or whatever. This is the box for the LG G5. Is if you, when you open it, it looks, the LG G5 is a modular device that separates. So when you remove the top half of the box, it looks just like the G5, how you separate the G5 from the modular bottom, and you see the battery. So that's pretty cool. There's nothing but books in the box and the charger. Here's the charger. You got a fast charger, 3.0 fast charger, and a USB Type C, which is, something new. This is my first phone actually with USB Type C. All my other phones are just micro USB. And here's the LG G5 in all its glory. So I'm just going, I'm not gonna go into a review, but I'm gonna just go into a couple things that you may have expected or may not have expected with this phone, because I know I was confused whether I wanted one or not. Build quality. That's the first thing I'm gonna start with as far as this phone goes, because that's the major issue with this phone, with this device. Okay, from what I've seen on YouTube, there's a lot of folks talking about right here, right on the right side of the camera, is some irregular, little hump or paint or whatever. It doesn't look regular. Mine's is not like that. Mine's is not like that. I don't have that problem right here. It looks fine to me. So that's the first thing. I'm not gonna say that yours may not be, but I'm gonna say all of them are not like that, with some type of clump right here where you can see it and it doesn't look even. Let's talk about this modular bottom. What I've noticed with this modular bottom is it is a little, the separation is a little off. It's a little different. It's different. Like I noticed mine's may look a little tighter over here and a little looser to the left. As you can see, look at the back. At the bottom there's some dimples. It's almost like dimples right here at the bottom of the phone. Maybe it's a paint issue. I don't know if it's real dimples. I'm not exactly sure. But what I will say is this. I can return the phone, but if this is how it's going to look after use, let's say, after a while, a couple times of pulling the bottom out, that's just how it looks, I can deal with it. If that's just how it's going to look, it don't make any sense to return the phone and get a new phone, and then I have the same look down here with some small, like, it just, it's really, we just so used to build quality that we nitpicking. But the reason that we're used to build quality is because nobody does anything new. So this is a modular device. This is something new for LG. This is something new to the industry. So it's not gonna come off exactly, the first time. LG is the first cowboy to run over the hill. When you the first cowboy to run over a hill, you get a lot of arrows in you. And then the other cowboys know how to run over the hill without getting as many arrows as you. So I respect LG for trying something different. On this side, this is the side where the button is. You separate this phone by hitting this button and pulling on this bottom piece. It seems like it's a little more separation right here. If I put this phone up to the sun, right on the edge, I could see through it at the bottom right here, where it's separated just a teeny bit. But like I said, it's not really that bad. It's just something that I can see because I like to nitpick with these phones, and I'm used to the super best build quality, but this phone separates. It's modular. No other phones are modular. So it's going to have different issues that a regular phone would have. Now, I will say that it's not really that bad at all, but if I was to go look at some display phones and I didn't see, it's just, it looks just it's just like it's some of the stuff looks inevitable because the way the phone is built. So when you if you go buy a G5, you're gambling on some new technology or whatever. But that's as far as build. That's all I see. Is maybe possibly is just this isn't just as tight as I would like it to be. You know, but let's see if we can get this camera. It's just as you can see. Let me see. Can you see my finger? You put it at the right angle. Well, you ain't gonna be able to see it in this camera, but it's just some nitpicky stuff. Now that we got out the way, I'm gonna say this: the build on this phone is better than I felt. You know, the build on this phone is pretty good. For something new, trying something new. People say the aluminum is fake. That's not true. This is real. This is aluminum, maybe coated, but it's aluminum because this was in my car during the day and it was cold outside. When I got in my car, this phone was cold as hell. So it's real metal. It's just not any fake metal. It's real metal. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is some real aluminum. It's real aluminum because I could feel it. My phone was cold as hell when I got in the car. So I know this is some, aluminum. Maybe it might be coated, but it's still real aluminum. So the build, I'm gonna give them a 8 or a 9 on the build just because it's something new. So it's not gonna be perfect. And they jumped out there. They could have made a phone with a plastic back. They could have made another G4. You know, just like Samsung made another S6, but different internals. But this is a whole different direction for LG. Not a whole different direction, but it's just different things going. It's a whole different, uh, type of phone. This is a partially modular device. Now, my opinions on the phone. Well, let me just say this. Let's go. Let's just get into the phone because I already said what I said. The build quality is not that bad, because I'm giving them some leeway because they're trying something completely new here. Got a pre-installed SIM card, standard lithium-ion battery, wall charger, quick reference guide, product safety and warranty and brochure, LG G5. That's what comes in the box. So, first of all, let's just start with the new design factors. It's got a dual camera on the back, 16 megapixel, then an 8 megapixel wide lens. So that's just something for us to try. That's a good look, if you want to, try anything. LG has great cameras. They have great cameras. They up there with Samsung as far as the cameras go. So you got your 16 megapixel shooter, which you can't go wrong with. Then you got an 8 megapixel wide angle shooter. You got a 5.3 inch screen on this phone, which is a step down from the LG G4. The LG G4 was a 5.5 inch screen. And here's the G5 compared to the G4. Got a 5.3 inch screen here, 5.5 inch screen. So let's just look at the sizes compared to the footprint. The G5 actually looks just as tall as the G4, if not maybe a little taller. But the G5, the G4 is wider than the G5. So, they about the same height, but the G5 is a little thinner than the G4. So as we go, same height, just about G5 and the G4. Matter of fact, They're about the same height because actually it looks like the G5 is taller, but it's just because this is on an angle. The top of the G4 comes down, so it's like on an angle right here. But they about, I'm gonna say the G5 is a little taller. G5 is a little taller. And then the G4, as you see, it's a little wider. But with that being said, the volume up and down has been removed off the back. We got the introduction of a fingerprint scanner, which I may say, since I used for a day and a half, works very well. The fingerprint scanner on the back of this G5, like I said, it's very fast. It works very good. I haven't had a whole bunch of errors. Same camera, 16 megapixel. Then we go to the wide angle 8 megapixel camera. No leather backs and things of that nature for the G5 like what was on the G4. But I will say this, the G4 is a little more boxier. The G5 is a little more rounded and it feels better in your palm, your hand. Now I've been using this G5 for a day and I noticed I use a Samsung S7 Edge, I use a Note 5 outside of this, and an iPhone 6 Plus. This 5.3 and screen is a sweet spot. It's a sweet spot. We always talking about sweet spots. 5.3 inch screen for me is like the size that a regular phone should be. A lot of people say 5.1 inch is a sweet spot, but I think for my hands, because I'm a bigger person with bigger hands, I think 5.3 inches is a sweet spot. I got a big hand, long finger, so I'm all, as you can see, my thumb can reach all over this device. And with one hand, you see how much play my thumb gets? So it's been like, okay, I got had this in my hand. Like, okay, I can just bop, 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 bop. And you know, it's not two-handed. It looks small in two of my hands, of course, because I have very large hands. But it's a great feel. The build, feels like real aluminum. 5.3 inches is a good size for a phone. Just a phone, not a phablet, but a phone. I like it. It's to my personal preference. The fingerprint scanner works very well. As you can see, let me cut it on because I did. Matter of fact, before I cut it on, I'm going to show you how to separate it. Modular device. Here's the button right here. Press this button down. Get a good button press. As you can see, when I press the button, it separated some. Then you pull. So it's not that bad. As long as you have this button pressed down. As long as you have this button right here pressed down, it separates not very, very easily, but you have if you pull on it, it's gonna separate. You don't want nothing separating too easy, but you want to make sure this button is pressed all the way down when you prying it apart, because you don't want to mess up the mechanism, because this all works off, I'm sure, these mechanisms in this phone. And then you have some buttons to press when you want to separate the battery. Have a button right here on the back and a button right here on the side. Now let's power up the phone. Okay, phone powered up. Now, the first time you use any device with a fingerprint scanner, you reset the phone, they want not your fingerprint, they want your password or your pattern lock. So let me put my pattern lock in, and then we can check out the fingerprint scanner. Here we go. I'm unlocked. Well, not, yeah, I unlocked it, so now it's off. So now let me see. Okay, now they say use your fingerprint. Now watch how fast this is. Don't prove me a liar. See how fast that was? Let's do it one more time. Okay, place finger to unlock. Quick as hell. I'm just dropping it right on that. Boom. It's unlocking. You can't see how fast I'm doing it for real because you can't see my finger, but all right, let me try one more time. Do it like this. Okay, fingerprint. There go my finger. I'm about to drop my finger right on it. Boom. Quick. Nice fingerprint scanner. And this phone also comes with a lot of people, man, I don't know what's up if people don't use these IR blasters, but I love my IR blaster. I stay using this as a, not using this, but any phone that I had that's a remote. That's what I miss when I went from the S6 Edge to the S7 Edge, my IR blaster. So I'm glad the IR blaster is still on this phone. That was that's a big one for me. But at certain parts of this phone, like let me see if I can get it to zoom in. If you look right here, it look like it's a chip in the phone, but it's a goddamn antenna. It's not a chip in the chrome, just your antenna. Just like up here, you think it's a chip in the phone, but it's really just your antenna. But I said this is Marshmallow 6.0.1. My thoughts on the phone so far. I'm not gonna get into my review. My thoughts. It's better than I expected. I like it more than I expected. I like the size more than I expected because it's like, okay, when I sit down and I really got time to mess with my phone, I'm pulling out my S7 Edge and my Note 5. But when I'm, just on the go and I'm just wanting to do whatever, I like the size of this phone. I like this size of this phone, and I want to get some of the modular pieces. I like this phone. It's trendsetting. They starting something new with I don't know if this is the word, the modularity. So I'm not mad at all that I spent my money for this device right here. You're getting the 820 Snapdragon processor, getting a fast fingerprint scanner, you're getting the IR blaster, you're getting micro USB. You can put a micro USB card up in here, up to 2 terabytes or something crazy like that. It's something that they don't even sell. So you're getting a great screen. This screen is nice, but I will say this: the screen is nice and clear, and it's bright, but it's not Samsung. It's not a Samsung screen. It's like none of these phone companies out here, can be. It's not a Samsung screen, but it's a great screen. You got an 8 megapixel selfie camera. You got a great camera interface. The camera interface is amazing with some of the things that you could do. Some of the settings and the pro mode and the raw and things of that nature. It's a great camera interface. There's a lot of stuff on here that you can do as far as this camera that's not on a lot of other cameras. So you get a great camera interface, and you get a great interface for your video also. So you get a lot of interface, a lot of options. So right now, I really got to touch this phone, but I like the way it feels in hand. It's a decent. It's a nice build for what they trying to do. Something different instead of trend. It's fast as hell. I haven't noticed any lag. This phone actually reminds me of a smaller version of a Nexus. I'm gonna say this not because of the software. The software LG, everybody knows nobody likes LG's UI. I put Nova Launch on there immediately, but you get a lot with this phone. Like I said, it's a modular phone. That's the first for phones. The screen is decent. The camera is great. The Camera interface is great. You get an 8 megapixel selfie camera. It feels great in hand. It's a great size. The battery life seems to be pretty good for what, it seems to be good for, you know, for the length that I've tested it or I've been using it. It's done held up all day for me. You can put a micro SD card in here. It's still got the Owl Blaster, one thing that it's got over the S7 and the S7 Edge. It's all aluminum. It might have a coating, but it's definitely all aluminum. You get that wide angle camera. You get a whole extra camera. Get USB Type C, which is future proof because a lot of devices going to be moving to USB Type C. So you can't. I'm not going to say you can't buy this phone and just go wrong. There's no going wrong with this phone. Hopefully, as long as I'm gonna put a disclaimer on that, as long as I'm gonna say this, the build quality as far as this modular device and its bottom separating, as long as that holds up, you can't go wrong. As long as it holds up and stays pretty, working without too much separation going on or breaking often, you can't. It's a good device. It's not definitely it's not, it doesn't have the screen of the S7 and but it's still a great device. So if you was thinking about getting a G5, you're like, oh, I don't know. I went out and bought one, and I'm not mad at it. I actually like it. I'm actually feeling the G5. So this is just my first impressions. It's cool. I like it. I've really got to do some more with it. And this your man BG, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? If you like the G5, go on and test it for yourself.